And for this hour, just to kick it off, I've been noticing quite a few articles about, okay, we're back, right? We're all vaccinated. Obviously, not all of us. There's this huge crisis going on. CNN, in fact, is reporting that there are 5 major clusters of Delta variant COVID that are infecting parts of the United States. I mean, just like major clusters that are, in fact, let me find the actual story here. Here it is. It's titled "Millions of Unvaccinated People in the Clusters." More than 15 million people, only 27% of them are fully vaccinated. And these are largely in 8 states, starting in the east in Georgia, stretching west to Texas and north to southern Missouri. Clusters also include parts of Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Bottom line, you can look at a map of counties that voted for Donald Trump or counties that voted for Joe Biden, and it's almost a one-to-one predictor of whether the vaccination rate is above or below 50%, or substantially greater, delta than that. And so, but for many of us, and for most of, kind of big city America anyway, and even a lot of medium-sized cities where people are not so addicted to Fox News and Tucker Carlson's lies about the vaccine and stuff like that, and didn't follow Trump so thoughtfully, I don't know, sheepishly. In those areas, life is getting back to normal. I mean, I'm here in the studio with Sean and Nate, and we're all 6 feet apart from each other, but we're not wearing masks. And Joyce, answering the phone over there, I still wear masks when I go into stores out of an abundance of caution, but most people don't. It seems here in Portland, we hit 70%. I think we only had like 20 cases that were diagnosed yesterday in all of Multnomah County, which is, like almost 1 million people. So we're doing pretty good and we're getting back to normal. But the question is, how are you adjusting to that? Right? Have we all achieved a new kind of homeostasis, a new stability, a new mental, social really, stability, where it feels okay to be under home arrest with an ankle bracelet on? It's like, yeah, okay, we just did this for 14 months. Ordering food in, not visiting with our friends. It wasn't so bad. In fact, there were some upsides to it. Louise and I binged watched some really great shows, and I got a lot of writing done. I wrote a whole book during this. It will be out in about a year, The Hidden History of Big Brother, about, social media and how we're all being spied upon and government spying and everything else. It was a fascinating book to write. Literally yesterday afternoon, I sent off the final draft to the publisher for line editing and typesetting. So, but on the other hand, we have company over, we have friends come over, we have family come over, and particularly when they have unvaccinated little kids, I'm still getting nervous. And there's a fair amount of neuroscience over at theconversation.com. There are 2 fascinating articles. One's called Going Beyond Back to Normal, 5 research-based tips for emerging from pandemic life. Things like set realistic expectations, live your values, which literally involves making a list of how you think you should spend your time and how you're actually spending your time. Is this a time for growth or preservation instead? Recognizing your privilege and paying it forward. So that's one of their little conversations. The other is titled The Neuroscience Behind Way Your Brain May Need Time to Adjust to Unsocial Distancing. And that is that, and I think this has something to do with why recidivism rates are so high when people are institutionalized, when they go to prison, or in some cases, mental hospitals or other kinds of facilities where they're basically locked away. You see this, frequently with people with addiction facilities as well. And it's that they get used to, or we get used to the new environment. We develop a new social network within that environment. You know, like over the last year for Louise and I, it was every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, we had a Zoom call with all of our family all over the country. And it was really nice. And, you know, we haven't done that in a while, and we're kind of missing it. In fact, I'm going to send a Zoom email out to my family members tomorrow saying, hey, how about tomorrow morning? But, you know, I don't know if anybody's going to show up. It's like people are back to life and back to normal. And that's kind of a cool thing. I mean, it's actually definitely a wonderful thing, assuming that the unvaccinated among us in this country don't produce a new variant. There is now, they're talking about the Lambda variant, and then, of course, there's the Delta Plus variant that has not yet really hit the United States, but it's the Delta variant with another little mutation that makes it even easier to catch and easier for it to kill you. But if you're unvaccinated, the statistics just came in from June, by the way, for the entire month of June. I believe it was 99.2% of all deaths were among people who were unvaccinated. And that tiny little slice of people who died and were fully vaccinated were almost certainly people who, you know, the vaccine didn't take because they were on immunosuppressive drugs, or they were suffering from autoimmune disorders, or, you know, for some reason their immune system just didn't respond properly to the virus, and which is not the norm. I mean, they're very much the exception. So the bottom line is, if you're vaccinated, if you're fully vaccinated, 2 shots, or with the J&J apparently, you know, you're probably in good shape. But how are you feeling about that? So, you know, I got a lot to, you know, there's a lot of stuff we can discuss. I mean, I'll just start by tossing those out, and we'll pick up your phone calls. It is coming. It's 14 minutes past the hour. I'm going to hit a break here, and we'll be back with Anything Goes Friday, just taking your calls for the rest of the day, with the caveat of those two, you know, a couple small stories here that I want to share with you, including in the second hour, what do we do? Actually, you know, perhaps even in this first hour. In fact, I'm going to raise this question right after the break. What do we do if the Republican Party starts ignoring our elections?